there. I can get along with that.
Yeah,
I kind of like that.
elevator music. It's kind of, you know.
That's Love Bomb.
It
That's
what?
Love Bomb Studio vibes.
Is that our vibes?
Kind of feels like you're kind of in a flower shop looking for roses, something like that. That's what I get.
Oh, okay. I like that. Except I like daisies.
Not that yeah.
There it goes.
So what's up, guys? Well, as you can see, it's DT3 tonight so far. Ditto's on a work trip. He's like, screw it. You guys don't need me. So we booted him. We're looking for a fourth. If you guys know.
He's actually out gambling. I have a tracker on my phone for Ditto. It says he's at the casino.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
that's good. Hey, glad you got the tracker. They'll probably end up at a strip club.
Poker and stuff.
What's up, Chip? How's it going, y'all?
How's your week been, Rock?
It's been good. I've been working on the wall, trying to get the wall finished for the June 7th show with Red.
Oh, yeah.
Almost done. It's almost done.
It's looking good.
Got Ditto's project done. So I'm looking in good shape.
What's up, TJ?
Brand new projects came together this week, which I'm super excited about.
I'm jealous.
Frank,
that you're almost
the production, done. Frank, I will be able to get the upfront first tariff issues when I get my toy in. So we are doing a blue glow with black. So there'll be the black slashes for the hair, and the feet and the hands will be black. So it'll actually be a painted figure when it'll be a blue glow. So I'm excited for that.
Cool.
Nice.
And Marty is getting a little bit of a reshuffle, and it's almost done. It looks really good. So
I saw you. I remember you mentioned that a while back. That's gonna be nice.
Yeah, it's finally coming along. Marty hasn't been redone in a while, so we'll see. It'll be fun. What about you guys?
Good.
Just staying busy, man. We have the 2 shows that you were talking about.
I did.
Yeah, just staying busy. Oh, hey, Ditto. There's Ditto. Look at him.
He's not too busy gambling for us. There he is in the chat.
What's up, y'all?
Yeah, no, we've just been trying. I'm still like in the planning phase of both of my pieces. I'm not gonna lie. I have not painted either one of them yet.
I'm done.
But I'll get.
Oh, ouch.
No, it's fine. I work best under pressure. It's gonna happen. I'm not worried about it.
I'm not worried about you anymore either. Like I just know it helped. That's how it works now. So I don't get nervous at all with you guys anymore.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll get it done.
I did book my hotel and my airfare for the Philly trip in June.
Nice.
So I'm excited about that.
Yep. Yeah. We are booked, and we're staying with Savage.
We're staying with Red Guardian at this hotel. We changed plans.
Oh, we are? Okay, watch out.
The Codfather. We're staying on his couch.
The first hotel I looked at was $500 a night. I'm like, this is Philly. Really? It's not like we're going to Disney World.
Yeah.
What is a Ritz? Yeah. Where were you looking at?
it's the one that Jay recommended. So I looked around and found a cheaper one that's just as close. So, but that was $200.
Well, you know me, I'm budget friendly. I go on Kayak. I look for like Motel 6.
Hostels. We go to like hostels and stuff.
Our flight up there is actually in a plane with only one wing. The other one is not. It's just like a flapper. It's not real.
My gosh, so dramatic. It's gonna be fine. We're gonna get there safely. Spirit and Frontier are gonna do us well. I'm not worried about it.
Oh my gosh,
it's got 100%. It has 100% rating on Google, the reviews, but that's because people that could complain probably didn't.
One person. That was the pilot. Guys, I picked this up today. You have to grab this book. You will love this book. I Am Plastic too.
Hey, this is plastic.
No, we have the first version.
This is the second version.
Dope.
This is the newest version of it. They made a second one, and the reason I pulled it out, is there's a great interview with Matt in
Hey, there it is. So, I bet some of his stuff is in the first book too. I believe so. Where is that book?
It's in the here. I'll grab it.
So we will talk about that interview and other stuff tonight, but you got to get this new book. I got it on Amazon.
Definitely. Okay. Heck yeah.
And I this piece finally came in the mail today.
Nice.
My
TJP killed it.
TJP Bolt. My Bolt figure got a makeover, and there it is.
Hi, Sarah.
Super
Everybody
stoked.
has to pause. It's Sarah.
Oh,
It's
man.
Sarah's birthday. I'm singing to her.
What's up, Sarah?
Happy
Here we go.
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sarah. Happy birthday to you. We love you, Sarah.
Happy birthday, Sarah.
Hey, so there's version
Yes,
one.
that's the first one.
Yeah, his stuff is in there.
Too bad they have Trexie on the cover, but other than that, it's a pretty good book.
I didn't even notice it. That's just the one. That's just the one eye trick.
Shots fired.
Have you noticed you haven't heard anything from Trexie? You guys noticed that since?
It's a little bit
Yeah.
crickets going on there. I would love to interview.
So now I got to get.
Trixie.
I got to get
Valid.
that book. E, you got to get this one, so we're up to date.
Yeah, I'll photocopy it for you if you want.
You know what's
I'm
interesting?
just
I think I actually found that book at like a. I feel like maybe I found it at like
It
a.
was a gift, but
It was?
yeah, you gifted it to me.
Oh well, I think I found it for like 50% off or something.
Fixed Temple Toys told me about it. He had it on his Instagram, and I was like, "Where'd you get it?" He goes, "Amazon." So I grabbed it.
Cool.
Beautiful.
I need it.
Beautiful.
I need it.
Yeah, there's some really cool like OG like kid robot stuff in there. It's really cool to see.
Old Sket One stuff, and like there's some really cool things.
So,
but guys, we got a really good guest tonight. Go ahead.
Real quick, were you at the Plastic Pizza show last weekend?
Did you watch any of that
I
on
was
Pop
not.
Shop?
I was
We got
not.
this really, really dope piece.
Black and gold.
Really nice.
Who did that one?
This one is by what's the
Who
artist
did
name
it?
again? Forget the name.
Yikes! We should know this. Is it this box?
I just discovered them. It's Ginger Skull.
Is that the,
Oh, okay.
the artist?
I think so.
Okay.
Super dope.
I have not. I don't get on Pop Shop much anymore.
Yeah, I rarely get on, but
But-
I hopped on that time. It was up.
We like it for plastic pizza shows.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anyways, yes, we have an incredible guest on tonight. I'm so stoked. He's an OG in the designer toy game and artist world. And I'm bummed Ditto's gonna miss this, but it's gonna be a great show. So
You can all watch
With
it
that-
back. You can watch it back.
there you go.
You want to
So you
introduce
guys make sure
B?
Yeah, so I was gonna say, but make sure that you share this on social media because we need more than 8 people in this room to talk to Jeremy Madl. But without further ado, the king himself, Jeremy Madl.
King himself.
Here we go.
What's up, man? Yo,
Hello, guys. How are y'all?
what's going
How's
on?
our-
man? We're
Good.
good.
How
How's our
are
green room?
you?
Green room's great.
Did they restock? Okay, good.
I ate all the M&Ms, so sorry.
Well,
Okay, that's fine. We
Fresh
restock once a week, so
But
we're good.
I do enjoy the drinks.
there you go. All right. Well, there's
Perfect.
plenty. Don't drink it all though.
Yep, save me some Jameson back there. That's my favorite.
Well, I know this has been in the works trying to get you on this show. I know we've been talking about it for a while. We're super, super excited to have you on. We're going to learn everything we can about you. We're going to learn about the first ever stuff way back in the day to current, if you can do that for us tonight.
Sure. Yeah. I was.
What about-
watching you guys talk about the IM plastics, and those are definitely those were a minute ago.
Yep.
Those are dope.
Yeah, this book is amazing. Like I love these type of books. I used to design jewelry, and a lot of jewelry gemstone places have these type of table books, and I absolutely love them. The pictures in it are great. And I've only been through a part of this book so far. But I noticed you had an article in here. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, actually, I think the IM Plastic 2 caused some drama back in the day because Huck went overseas to interview a bunch of the Asian artists and stuff, and when he tried coming back, he got stopped and they wouldn't let him back in
What?
because he was a UK resident at the time. It was crazy.
Oh,
So
wow.
Wow.
we a bunch of us banded together, and that's where the I Heart Huck model came out. We made 100 of them, sold them, put it towards his fund to take care of some legal stuff. It
That's crazy.
That's awesome.
Old
though.
stories.
It's a
That
great
is- yeah,
backstory
that's
that
pretty
we would have never.
When did the second one come out?
It's been a while, huh?
I'm
It's
looking
been a
right.
while.
I'm
Yeah,
looking right now, and I don't.
I want to say probably like 2008 maybe. 2009.
wow.
This one's okay.
That's
that
what I'm
one
thinking
didn't
back.
even
I mean,
know.
it's been.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't
That's
say.
cool. Man, I
Yeah.
miss some of the OG designer toys, and like blind boxes are my absolute favorite. Like I wish we could find more cases of that. There you go.
Yeah, Rock mentioned the older stuff, and dude, B and I, we do shows on Whatnot, and we'll just open up blind boxes.
hmm
We figured it's kind of like a way to see the products without buying it all.
All
It
of
kind
them.
of, I mean,
Other
you
people
see-
buy it.
but we're able to actually hold it, and I'm like, okay, cool, you can have it, But
Right.
it's dude, one of the best cases that we were able to get our hands on and
Absolutely.
open was by far the sharpest sprayers. These little guys right here, man, these were a blast to open up, and
That
I was
was,
very lucky to find these.
Yep.
I think that was my very first blind box series, like full
What?
set. If you're talking
Wow.
about Trexie, I was in the first Trexie series, like 2005. I was before all the drama happened, but yeah.
Well, there's more drama that followed them back in again. So once they tried to come back in, it's we won't get into that since my name's a little bit of
We need a whole
whatever.
episode
But
for that.
Yeah.
we should interview Jackie. That'd be hilarious. We should interview.
It'd be like the interview we did with Sket One, where we interviewed about the whole super plastic situation. That was
Oh yeah, it was awesome. Go back and watch that, guys.
Yeah.
What about
there's-
these
there's
guys?
all
I
kinds-
pulled these out of my.
Okay.
I have both of these.
These guys are dope.
This guy with the glasses, right? These are going to be done by me. I just haven't done them yet.
Yeah, I've been trying to see what all
And
you
this
have.
one is with the.
What up, Vandal? Vandal and
These were
David.
UVD.
Hey,
that's
he did
dope.
come.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, Vandal.
Nice.
Uh-oh.
That's what I'm saying.
Trouble. We might want to shut down.
Yeah. Nah, man. Thanks for joining us, man.
So
I guess
how long have these been out? How long have these been out? From
Those
UVD.
those came out right on the tail end of COVID, I think. So like they might have dropped like 2021 ish. They've been out for a minute, and it was kind of crazy because I think I did like 14 different versions of them, and they were supposed to go staggered to all the different retailers for their exclusives, but because of the COVID slowdown, like everything dropped at once, and
Yeah.
it kind of overwhelmed, I think, the collectors a little bit because they're still available. I mean, I've got them on my shop. I'm sure you can pick them up from UVD.
Yeah. I grabbed a couple. I got them on sale. So they had some kind of site-wide sale, and I grabbed them.
Yeah.
I need to grab some more because once I do one, I want to keep one for myself too. So
Yeah,
let's start.
We did white ones.
Oh, go ahead.
We did a limited run of black ones, and I think we've got some glow in the dark ones as well that are all blank.
Yeah.
And then there's a ton of different variants that are all painted up and done for different shops, which was
gonna
really
say,
cool.
I think we saw the Road
Yeah,
of the Road of Fuji one.
What are these from?
Yeah.
That one I actually got on his site. I think he dropped some, like you dropped like some. It was a set of 3.
Yep.
And I bought those for him for Father's Day a couple, maybe a year or 2 years ago, something
2
like
years,
that.
yeah.
I was so pumped. I could not believe the prices you had on those things. That was a steal.
Yeah. When I first developed the models, 2002 was when they first kind of came to be. And then I think the first series, the very first figures that were available were at Comic-Con that year in 2003, and they were just all blank clear ones. And those are really the rarest ones you can find. Especially
Like this massive one?
No,
This guy's
yeah,
amazing.
those I did, I think, in 2007.
Okay.
No, 7.
Yeah. self-funded all of that stuff back in the day, which was kind of fun and crazy.
Yeah.
But
Trust me, I know. So
yeah, I've been making the models now. Like I said, I designed them in 2002. The first phase dropped in 2004, and the whole point behind them was to create a platform that at the time there really wasn't anything. Dunnies came out around the same time. The only thing on the market at the time was really Bear Bricks and Kubricks. So it was like I wanted to do my own platform and have other artists and get people involved, but I also wanted them to be affordable. At the time, you could buy them for $25 a piece, and the whole idea was like getting people into a store, and rather than buying a $50 toy, they could buy 2 or 3 of mine, kind of a thing. So we really kind of focused on that price point to be able to get them out there, and yeah, the 8th version that you guys picked up, that's part of phase 4. So I've done 4 series so far. I think probably about 30,000 units in the whole life of the models, between blanks and exclusives and all that kind of stuff. So it's been fun. I have phase 5 designed, just haven't gotten the trigger. I'm also working with UVD on getting the mini models done, which are injection molded blind box. So fingers crossed that happens.
Nice, that'd be great.
And then more of the art stuff, like based around that shape. It's kind of my signature shape. I've been doing them forever. So
dope.
I love that.
The concept came when my oldest son was born. It was like the whole idea was like making a platform but having it be sophisticated but still cute and childish. So it really kind of spawned out of becoming a dad. And
that's cool,
ever
man.
since then, each series has one monster in them that is based on one of my kids, or one's for my godson. But the one you have, actually my oldest daughter designed.
Really?
The rainbow one. Yeah, she.
The rainbow one. I love the rainbow. I collect
Yeah.
rainbow stuff. It's kind of my jam. So I have the rainbow one in like my rainbow area. And then he's got the other 2. So that's awesome.
Well, that's a good transition actually to, I was going to ask how, like, did you have any formal training growing up? How'd you get into this whole designer toy?
Yeah.
Start us from the beginning, from scratch.
From way back. All right. Grew up in Kansas, kind of all over the place. Single mom. We moved all over. I was always into art, just because bouncing around. I didn't go to the same school for more than a year until I was in high school. So moving around a lot, it's it's great when you're an artist, because then people want to talk to you, kind of a thing. So I just dived into that part of the art world. Got into drawing and sculpting and painting. Got in a lot of trouble when I was younger for painting. And then in high school, I had a teacher basically kept me in school because I was ready to get out. I was not on a good path. And he's like, you're really talented. You can make art for a living. And I was like, yeah, but I don't want to be a starving artist, blah, blah, blah. He's like, have you ever thought of product design? I'm like, what the hell is that? And he's like, well, if it doesn't come from nature, somebody designed it. And it just like, light bulb went off. So I started applying to different colleges, New York, California, Kansas City, and went out to LA to Otis College of Art and Design. And they had a summer school class that I took that was toy design. And it was like some old hippie from Mattel that would just sit there and be like, yeah, he'd tell us all their like cool, fun stories.
That's crazy.
All the drugs and stuff they took. And it was like, yeah, okay, that sounds cool. And then that following year, I started as a freshman for foundation, and the school tapped me on the shoulder and said, we're starting a toy design program. And would you be interested in, being on the student body, to select teachers and curriculum? And I'm like, hell yeah, comics, toys, art. Like I was a huge toy collector as a kid. So, I was like, all for it. So started in toy design. We had, I think, 35 or 36 students when we started. By the end of it, we graduated with, I think, 14 of us finally made it through. But we learned the full spectrum of the toy industry, from child psychology, marketing, methods and materials, production, manufacturing.
Oh, man, that was like, it was legit.
Legal, yeah, everything. We graduated, and they said that we were the equivalent of like a 15-year veteran in the toy business. Like, we jumped into our positions like no problem. I decided not to go to the corporate route. I had offers from Mattel and all those guys, and I wasn't really interested. I had done internships and stuff through there and just didn't really like that vibe at all. So I went into, right out of college, I worked for a company. It was basically an invention house, and we worked on marketing programs, IPs, entertainment properties, fast food toys, retail toys, a lot of inventing. And it was heaven. It was just nonstop, went nuts there. I left there after about 3 years and started a company with a guy from that same company, pretty much doing the same thing. We were an agency, and was there for a few years, ended up having my second son, and decided to move back to Kansas City, and sold my shares of the company and basically started Mad Toy Design. That was 2006, I believe, which was right when all this stuff was going on. And it was like, I had a ton of clients in the mass market toy world, but then I had this whole like art thing starting and growing. And yeah, it's just been a roller coaster ever since. So, I call it my day job is, basically I'm a consultant for pretty much all the big toy companies. I develop and plan out, collectible lines and product lines and brands and stuff for them. But then at night, I do my stuff, so.
So still
You're like Batman,
this day,
basically.
you're still doing that.
Yeah, for the most part. I not so much in the art toy world these days. Okay. I'm doing a lot more inventing. I have a company. I have several companies. I have Mad Toy Design, which is kind of my design consulting firm. I have Solid Industries, which is more the manufacturing arm, where I manufacture toys for different artists and music labels and stuff like that. And then I have a third company called Awagama, which is me and some partners formed it right in the middle of COVID, and decided, we've got all these ideas, let's do them ourselves. So we've been working that heavily to basically design, develop, patent, and get our products out. So we're kind of on that road right now. Funny enough, I did do an art toy. I did a whole series of Ninja Turtles for Playmates toys. These are called Cheekies.
Those are cool, man.
I saw those on IG.
Yeah, they've got little butts on them. So we teamed up with.
I get it.
Cheeky, that's hilarious. That's dope.
We teamed up with Playmates because they were like, we want to get into the art toy space, and they said, go nuts. Whatever license we have, you can play with, develop it for us, and we'll make it. And so that's actually on the market right now. So it's I like to do a lot of different things. I design, toys for girls, games, vehicles, action figures. I mean, you name it, it's kind of in my wheelhouse. All of it really falls into the same world as far as manufacturing and knowing the processes. So, over my career, I've done apparel, jewelry, pet toys, fast food toys, kind of everything from, starting with a sketch on a piece of paper to putting product on people's doorsteps. So I've had to learn over the past 25 years, I guess, the whole business, so it's
incredible.
Kind of a one-stop shop.
So you said that you do the manufacturing. Do you guys manufacture vinyl here in the US?
No, No, I have a factory in China that I've been using
Okay.
forever. They are one of the biggest and best vinyl companies. When I've been over there a bunch of times, they've come over and met with me. In 2011, I had the opportunity to design a product line for a game that nobody had heard of called Minecraft, and ended up doing vinyl toys for
Never heard of it.
Minecraft before anybody really knew what it was. And by the end of it, I
Chicken
think we
jockey.
produced almost 1 million units. So
I was gonna say, did you guys just
Wow.
recently? Did you share that recently on IG? Was it a creeper or a?
yeah.
Okay,
So that was
I
a
thought
10-inch creeper that was an exclusive for Toys R Us, which isn't even around anymore. But yeah,
crazy.
we did like 6-inch vinyls, a bunch of characters. That's actually where I met Vandal back in the day.
I was gonna say he worked on that with you, right? Did you guys work on a piece together or something?
Some of it, yeah. I designed a whole line of Gachapon series for them, where they were like these little sets, and me and my partner Scott designed and did all the sculpting, and then Jinx, the company we were working with, kind of took over from there, and that's when I think Vandal he started on series 2 based off my art, and
Okay.
then they took over from there. You know, I tend to get in, set people up, and then get out, kind of a thing. So
Yeah. You're the one to make the magic happen, and then you're like, okay.
Yeah, hand over the reins and move on
Here
to
they are.
bigger and better, things. Yeah, there's the cheeky.
There's the cheekies, yeah. Did you also make that like fidget spinner thing?
Yeah,
Those
so
were
this
good.
is one of our products from Awagama. It's I don't know if I have ADHD, but I've been a big fidget guy for years. And have you ever? I'm sure you do. Spin your keychain, your keys on your finger.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's kind of where it came from. And then we were like, yeah, we should add
That's
some
cool.
crazy lights to it, and basically figured out how to program it, set up all the lights, get all the engineering done, and then
Crazy.
yeah,
It's like
there's the video.
Inception.
Yeah, he showed a video of it. So those are those available for purchase still?
Yeah, if you go to ringslingereffects.com, and it's Slinger is GR. There's no E in it. But yeah, they're available. They selling on Amazon right now. We're
Our daughter would love that. We have a daughter who's 12 and she is all about the fidget. She's got ADHD, and so she's all about the fidget stuff. And,
yeah.
That one she'd probably get in trouble at school with, but I feel like she could totally do it outside of school for sure.
Well, back in the day, I was, when I was in LA, I had a bunch of friends that were DJs, so I would always go to the parties and raves and all that kind of stuff. And it's the perfect rave toy. I mean, that's really what it is. But it's a great toy for all ages, or fidget device, whatever we want to call it. But yeah, it's available now. We're slowly getting it out there and trying to build it. That's the hardest thing with launching a product. Not only all the development, it's taken us about 4 years to get where we are now, but just got our patent issued for it, which is cool. That's my first patent. I was pretty happy with that.
That's awesome.
And yeah, it's just a matter of spreading the word and getting it out there. I think it's only like $17 on Amazon.
That's not bad at all. That's good.
Yeah, it's some of those fidget spinners are crazy expensive for the high end stuff, which is I got a whole drawer full of those. But
it's too bad you couldn't get that into like the music festivals. That's like we're going to one in Austin at the end of May called Illfest.
Okay.
And they have like a bunch of, it's like an art / music festival. It's like EDM mostly.
Yep. So they have like a lot of muralists, graffiti.
Yeah.
Really great.
And so Greg Mike actually I think is going to be there
nice.
at that one, which will be cool. And I think they're supposed to be kind of promoting, I don't know. It says designer toys. I don't really know what's going on. We'll see. But yeah.
Yeah, we've started reaching out to like DJs and bands and trying to remember the name of the company that basically runs all the EDM, big shows. So we're trying to get our foot in the door. Not only, it's a great promotional tool for companies. So, we've been in talks with like liquor companies and stuff like that as well. And, so there's definitely kind of the retail side where, everyday people can buy them, but we're also going, business, the business model where, a company could order their own. We can customize all the animations. We can put graphics on it. I mean, it's
you can get one that says DT4 when you spin it. That'll be
well. We'll get a couple, and we'll go to Illfest, and we'll do it ourselves, and then we'll try to spread the word that way for you.
Right on. Yeah, take video. That's the biggest thing is getting video and just posting.
So do you?
Nice. Yeah.
The curiosity that like a lot of us have when you talk to a toy designer, especially in the designer toys, do you keep one that you do? Like if you order a box from, you and UVD do a box toy like this, do you keep one of all your stuff?
Yeah, actually I keep since the very beginning. I've kept 3 of everything I've ever made.
That's impressive.
I have a storage unit that's literally packed solid. Whether it's art toys or, commercial projects. I keep 1 on display, 1 in the box, and then 1 in storage just in case, but yeah. I joke with my kids that they're going to be pissed when I die because they're going to have all this crap they're not going to know what to do with.
You got to go through it all. Yeah.
I told them I'm going to put it in my will. They're going to have to make a museum or something.
I was going to say that, or they'll have a hell of an estate sale. One of the two.
Sketch on that. You want to drop a pin on the map real quick so we can take a tour?
Yeah, I live in the middle of
nowhere. You know what? That would be a cool video. That would be a really sick video. Go through that storage locker,
storage unit. Oh
yeah.
Man,
yeah. Show all the things.
Not only do I have, I used to have an off-site studio where I had everything on display and all that kind of stuff, and then again, COVID kind of ruined everything. So now my studio's in my house, and my wife's like, "No, you got way too much stuff." So not only are all my pieces in storage, but the entire vinyl collection.
I was going to say,
you're a collector also.
We're getting a little overrun here. So
what do you like anything in particular? Like do you have like a favorite top 3 platform?
So I have a very extensive early Michael Lau collection. That was actually one of the first artists that I started buying. I've got, as weird as it sounds, I've got a bunch of Mickey Mouse stuff. For some reason, I just love Mickey Mouse, and so I have some really old pieces and a lot of Metacom stuff from when they first started doing them. In general, these days, I just kind of pick up the weirdest stuff I can find. Like if I hit up a shop, we've got a store here in Kansas City called Bubble Wrap that we kind of my daughters and I stumbled into, and it seems like every time I go down there, I'm picking up some weird thing. Let me see.
Do you have one? Or is that a website?
No, that's so weird though. Remember that that Dunny that you love that Priscilla did, and it's like a weight. It's like, and then it's like a balloon. Yeah. There's they did a bubble wrap toy show on Pop Shop, I believe.
Nice.
These are, I don't know the artists. They're Japanese, but they've got like all these really great.
Creepy cute. Pieces. I guess that would be the category.
Creepy cute. Are they so cute? Is that Sofubi or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Dope.
But I mean, I just when I go to different conventions and stuff like that, if I see an artist, I'll buy a piece, and it's just, again, it's just kind of supporting the world out there, and I don't have like a heavy collection these days as far as like I got to get everything, but I find just the weirdest little weirdest little things, and I'm like
a watermelon shark.
I mean,
it's like the Incredible Hulk shark, right?
I got my Sad Salesman. I don't know if you do, but he had this little guy, Pearl Boy, that came out.
It's hilarious.
It's one of my favorites.
He keeps like all his weird, like his little weird stuff,
It's not focusing, but you get the
look
point.
at that, the cat. That's hilarious.
That's hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
I've really slowed down trying to get stuff. Like I started getting way too much. I started way back Super Plastic days, Kid Robot days, and it's just gotten crazy. So I finally said I just got to stop buying. Now that I'm making my own stuff, I have to stop buying because especially the little blind boxes. Like, what am I going to do with them? Like, I can't display them all.
You can display them like this.
You know,
that's how we have our dunnies on the wall.
You got to be creative.
You don't
right?
understand. There's boxes and boxes and boxes of blind. I could never display them all. And they're just sitting in a box.
Rubbermaid totes just full of blind boxes. That it's like back in the day, like 06-ish. I was buying tons of stuff from a lot of different stores, and then they just started sending me boxes of stuff like, hey, here, you thought you might like this, and you're getting 8 or 9 different pieces, and it's I knew all the the owners, and I still know them. We all have great relationships, and but it's the same thing. It's like, not to mention all the different artists. Like, we would trade toys. I'd send them my stuff, they'd send me a box of their stuff, kind of thing. So it's like it piles up real quick, and blank DIYs. I started doing the customizing stuff in 2003, and it didn't even exist back then. It was like, what, you want me to paint on this thing? Okay. I go back to the blank clear models. We were sitting at the booth in San Diego, and nobody knew what vinyl toys were at the time, and it was like, hey, you want to buy my little guy? And people are like, yeah, whatever. And it's like, I'll draw on it for you. And they're like, yeah, okay, I'll buy that, and so I just started markering pieces, and then did a series of, I think, 25 of those for My Plastic Heart. And they just blew out the door like in a day, kind of a thing. And then, fast forward, it was just nonstop, DIY customs kind of thing.
Did you invent designer toy custom game? Is that,
I wouldn't say that, but I was definitely one of the first, or part of the first crew that
one of the
really
frontiers. How about a frontier?
There was actually, I think, in the I Am Plastic 2, there was a fling monkey show, and I think that was one of the very first custom projects I was a part of. And after that, it just blew up. I mean, there were dunny shows and keys, and you name it, everything. So I got into doing a ton of customs, which was also really why I started making like the 10-inch models and stuff like that, because it's like, well, I'm kind of tired of drawing on other people's toys. Like, I might as well draw on my own. So that became a huge, part of what I started doing. And I don't do it much anymore. My eyes aren't as good. So it's a little tougher. Not to mention, I just don't have time. But it's something that I don't know, I love doing. Like, even the blank model citizens. I've got a bunch of those that, like, for friends, I'll paint up their some pieces for them for gifts and things like that. So it's still fun if I can find the time to do it. But I wouldn't say I invented it. That's a stretch.
A lot of the people, a lot of people in the chat, or people that we're friends with, are artists and who have been on the creatives, or who we've met through, Instagram or on whatnot. And that's kind of the thing is, a lot of the artists, they'll customize certain things. I mean, Sketchy Sketch in the chat has been trying to steal this from me. Because he wants to customize it, and I'm like, no, man, I'm gonna paint it one day, but I don't know if I will. I don't know. I don't want to touch it.
It's kind of beautiful, just blank.
Yeah, but it's
so. Yeah, speaking of the creative, go for it, Rock. What's up?
Well, no, I was just on the DIY. Like, we really try to. I know on my side of the fence, and I know EMB been big part of that. Is I think I'm on my 4th or 5th blind box custom shows that we're doing. And it just helps these artists that have maybe never painted on a toy, and they got to do it. Now they're hooked. They're like, so I think we've started a whole nother, like, not generation, but a whole nother group of people that never painted on a toy that just now just love it. It's all over the place now. So I think
that was kind of the basic idea of the model. The definition of a model is a platform for people to work on. So the idea was to always do blanks, and at first we didn't make the blanks, and people would ask, hey, can I get a blank one? It's like, just paint over a regular figure, or strip it down. And then we started catering to that market for sure. And I even did 5-inch blanks at one point. I tend to like the bigger stuff just because it's easier to paint on. You can get a lot more detailed. So I don't do a lot. I never did a lot of minis. I think I maybe did a few dunny little tiny ones, but you just don't get I couldn't get the impact, I had a guy send me through Instagram. He bought one of my 4-foot dunnies from someplace in Texas. He's like, hey, what's the story about this? And I'm like, I haven't seen that thing in like 12 years. So I'm like, where'd you get it? And what'd you pay for it? It was like a promotional thing I did with Kid Robot. And I think it was Aaron Brothers Art Supplies. It was like an in-store thing. And
wow.
Once I was done painting, I never saw it again until just like literally a week or two ago.
Was it a
What did the
modern
guy
hero,
end up
or was
paying
it-
for that thing?
No, it was a skin deep version. I did a 4-foot skin deep, which was one of my dunnies, one of my ongoing characters. He ended up paying, I think, like $1,500 for it. Like, it was dirt cheap, which was crazy because
Wow.
when Kid Robot was making those, the base model itself was $5,000. So
That's crazy.
Yeah.
the guy got it.
I remember that.
Steal. And
He's
I
in
think
Texas. We gotta find out where he
that's
is.
on
We're
there,
in
yeah.
Texas. We're about to find this guy.
I think I painted 4 of those big dunnies total. That one for Aaron Brothers, one at a casino in upstate New York, one in Vegas for like a complex show, or it was a Magic was the show. And then Scott and I we did a battle. Like, he was painting his and I was painting mine. It was fun. And then
Cool.
I did one in Shanghai for the Swatch tour when I was over there. So yeah,
The Swatch. That's the what's it called?
It's
a pink one, right?
It's pink.
Yeah.
I had that one back here. I don't have the watch, but I have that. It's one of my favorite dunnies.
Yeah, it's really cool.
That was a crazy project. I think they put me on a world tour. It was me, Frank, and Tara. And I did 4 countries in like 10 days, just going all over, going from one spot to the next. And I mean, it was a whirlwind, but it was pretty insane. Like, walking around Times Square in New York, and the fucking artwork's like 20 feet on the billboard, lit up all over. It was bucket list type stuff,
I was gonna say that's surreal. So we talked a little bit about creative. So tell us a little bit about that. Did you know Red Guardian before, or how did you get involved with the series?
So I think he was trying to wrap up series 1 and was reaching out, and it depends on the day when I'm checking my email, as you guys know. If I've got time, and he's like, hey, I really like you to be in the series, like, send me whatever you want, here's the template, kind of a thing. And so I shot him, I think 2 or 3 different pieces, and he ended up running with it. So and then a few months later, I noticed in the background of the on the shelf there, you've got the Mad spray can. These guys.
The Mad Yep.
So we got him on that project, and I actually had never met him in person until this past November at Decon in Vegas. So got to finally meet the person, which is cool. So
I wish I would have known you were there. I would have loved to meet you. That would have been awesome.
I was.
Are you gonna be coming out again?
Walking around? I think so. We'll see. I mean,
I
had started going to back then it was called Vinyl Toy Network. It was a 1-day show in Pasadena when it first started. So I was there for the first couple of years. Then I did a couple of years before when they were still in Pasadena, but it was like a weekend thing. I think I had a booth 1 year, and then just kind of stopped going because living in Kansas City, moving all my stuff out there, doing all that was kind of a pain in the ass. But this past Decon, we had just launched the Ring Slingers, and the Cheekies line with Playmates, and I was like, you know what, I should go and talk to my friends over at Tramped. They were like, yeah, you can do a signing. I don't think I even did a signing. I just kind of threw my bag there and like walked around and just saw
Yeah.
old friends and hung out and bought a bunch of toys. So that was
we got to interview Keegan on here a couple months ago, and he is such a cool guy.
Cool dude.
Yeah.
He
So
is awesome. I love him.
I first met Keegan. Oh, there it is. Yeah. When I did that live painting in upstate New York on the 4-foot dunny,
Yeah.
they showed up and they were like, "Hey, we're into vinyl toys," and it was like we ended up hanging out and drinking all night and friends ever since, kind of a thing. So yeah, Keegan's awesome.
I was gonna say we if you end up at DCon, we owe any of our guests that have been on DT4, we'll buy you guys a shot as a thank you for coming and hanging out with us.
Right on. All right, well, that might be worth the trip.
I'm not saying we're all taking shots every time.
You can throw your bag. You can throw your bag at my booth. We'll have a booth again this year, so you can throw your bag there, do whatever.
Cool,
dude. I didn't realize how many of your pieces I have. Like, I have
we
so
have
many,
a lot of.
This is the Kendra's.
I did the same thing. I did that too. I started looking around and going, "Oh my gosh, this is another piece."
Yeah, it's because he's the pioneer of designer toys. So half of our collection is his stuff.
So it's like 25-ish years of 24.
It's crazy because I feel like, especially like on the platforms that we're on, people still like you have to explain what a designer toy is or what an art toy is, or I mean a vinyl figure. They're just like, so what's the difference between regular toys and designer toys? And you get that question all the time.
You mean like pop vinyl?
Exactly.
So here's something you don't want to say when they ask you what you do. I was at the casino the other day playing blackjack, and this older couple came up to me, and I had one of my shirts on. It had one of the toys on it, and they're just asking like, "What do I do now?" I said, "Well, I'm retired from the Air Force, and I do designer toys." And they're like, "Well, what's designer toys?" I'm like, "Well, they're adult toys." And I'm like, I just said adult toys.
Yeah.
So I had to backtrack and then show them pictures on my phone, and then so don't ever say adult toys. Say
designer. You don't play with them. You just collect them and display them.
Yeah. I've been there many times. It's like, not that kind of toy. Like it's more like adult collectibles. It's
I usually have to tell people it's like collectible art sculptures. That's kind of like the I don't know how to explain it to people. They kind of look at me like I'm crazy, but it is what it is.
I just say they're collectibles that artists actually art on or work create.
Yeah.
And if you're on a dating app, don't ever say you design toys. Like you'll never get a date. Like you gotta have to lie about what you do.
Don't put that on a dating app, okay, hon?
The number one thing I get is, "Oh, you make toys? That must be fun." And it's like, well, yeah, it's fun, but it's not like I'm sitting in a workshop every day. Like it's a business.
That must be fun.
Sometimes
eating candy and
it's like it's it beats flipping burgers, but
it's like that they immediately discredit, like, "Oh, you make toys. Oh, okay."
Oh,
or like, you're an artist for a living. Oh man.
That's
cool.
Oh, but then you put if you manufacture overseas, then you put that whole other headache on your lap, which is I've learned the last year is a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, I started manufacturing my own stuff in 2007, and it's changed a lot. As far as getting stuff done, pricing, all that kind of stuff. And then, with the current kind of pissing match that's going on right now, it's ridiculous. So,
it is.
I've spent the past couple of weeks basically on phone calls with, business associates and companies and clients, and everybody's trying to figure out what the hell they're doing. And it's, it's for the artists, the guys that are, guys and gals that are like 1-2 person shops, like my heart just breaks for them because it's crushing. The big companies, they can eat all this stuff. It's not a big deal for them to pick up and go to Vietnam or Cambodia or India or whatever. Most of them had already started doing that during COVID. So, but our world, the art toy world, like it's not fun. So my advice is make some one of a kind stuff, buy a 3D printer, buy some casting supplies, like whatever you can do to kind of roll with the punches and still hit your collector base, go for it.
That's where we're at right
in
now.
the end, one of a kind art is always better anyways. If you
Yeah.
can do multiples, right on, but don't let what's going
my biggest
on now
thing was
stop you.
My thing is last year I paid for the mold already, so I already had that $8,000 in the mold, and I'm like, I got to get some more money out of this mold to make it worth it. So I'm anxious to see how this lasts. I only did 50 pieces in this last order, so I'm anxious to see how it's gonna be affected on just a small order. Like I can't get screwed too bad, it's only 50 pieces, so.
See, when I started, factories, their minimums were 1,000 units. Even the small designer stuff.
Most of them are. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, to even go to a factory and be like, yeah, I need 50 is just like mind boggling to me. Like, that's how many resin pieces I'll kick out. Like it's awesome that you have that connection and they're willing to do it. It used to be, if you know how they set up the factories and set up the lines, it's not just, oh, I need to make 50 pieces. They have to train the staff at every single spot in the production run. And, to do that for 50 things, you won't find a lot of factories that are willing to do that. A lot of times when I'm helping artists or, different smaller brands plan out production, and I, kind of go through and consult with them on all the different steps, like, make 1,000, break it up into smaller edition sizes and slowly, release them that way. Because to your point, you got to make money off those molds, all the tools, all that stuff. It's better to stretch that out and get more money for more bang for your buck. You're also going to get a lower price point from the factory, all that stuff. So it's a higher investment. When I was making my own stuff, it was like 30, 40 grand every time. And it's like, thank God I didn't tell my wife because she would have killed me, but it worked out. So,
yeah. Well, as you know, shipping alone is like half the battle.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I was a little disappointed that this is how I expected you to look. And
yeah, what's going on with that?
Explain that picture.
It was like, I think I had texted that to one of my daughters. It was some weird filter on Snapchat or Instagram or something that I used. And at the time I was like, do I really want to use the same old picture I always use? So I was like, this will be funny, and just do it. Plus it kind of fits, the Mad moniker. A lot of people have always been like, oh, Mad, like, what are you angry about? And it's like, it's not anger, it's more of a state of mind.
Mad crazy,
Crazy, yeah. So that's kind of where I felt like it fit,
Yeah, no, it absolutely fits.
It's
great. We're gonna have to bring those with us to Decon so we can get them signed while we take our shot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome. So I think that, towards the end of our interviews, typically we just ask some like favorite, questions about you more as a person than an artist. So, we have what?
What? No, none. What?
What?
Go ahead.
So like, tell us what your favorite food is. Do you like to cook? Are you more of a takeout guy?
I am not the cooker in my family. My wife is. I'm from Kansas City, so our barbecue, hands down, is the best in the world.
Whoa.
I'll go to.
We may have a battle. We may have a battle here.
We founded Burn Ends up here, so I would go to.
I do like that.
We will agree to disagree.
All right.
I will bow out.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm sure it's amazing.
It's.
I'll bow out because I know Vegas has crappy barbecue. Vegas isn't in the running, so you two guys Battle it out.
Vegas and LA don't even get to like chime in.
Yeah, just have strip clubs and casinos.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
Yep.
Now
Facts.
LA Mexican food is way better than Kansas City Mexican food. My stepdad is from Guadalajara, so I grew up eating amazing Mexican.
Nice.
And so, yeah, I would have to say like a really good carne asada burrito is like all day long, every day.
That sounds
rock.
amazing. That sounds so good. All right.
What about when you're doing art or you're doing any kind of work, you have your headphones in, what kind of music are you listening to?
Or TV shows.
So I do watch. I usually have Netflix or whatever just in the background. When it comes to music, I grew up on old school hip hop, punk rock, ska. I literally listen to everything except like country, unless it's like old honky tonk. And when I'm actually dialing in and working, as crazy as it sounds, I listen to classical, just like Mozart, Beethoven, like, because it just goes on and it's just music. It's it keeps the brain going, kind of thing. So my kids crack up because they're like, your phone literally has 35 days straight worth of music on it. Like, how do you listen to all this? And it's like, oh, just put it on random and let it do its thing. But I'm when I've got a hardcore deadline, it's classical. It's kind of a new thing for me. Probably within the last 5 or 6 years, I've started doing that. But I listen to everything.
I was like this. I listened to classical back like when I was in college. I needed to focus. There's no words, lyrics. It's just the music.
Yeah. It's just
I'm kind of like that with lo-fi right now. Just
Yeah.
like the hip hop beats, like real.
Lo-fi hip hop is the jam, man.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying earlier, when I was in college in LA, like, there was drum and bass, jungle, like we were going to shows nonstop. I had tons of friends that were DJs, so I went through that as well. So, yeah, man, I mean, like I said, I listen to anything that makes your head bob is good in my book.
Rock is actually the lead singer of the DT4 Lo-Fi band.
Oh,
he
for
just
real?
stands there in the corner and doesn't say anything. But he's the lead
You
singer.
guys got a mixtape?
Red
Yeah, it's
Red Guardian's the one who got me to start listening to lo-fi hip hop on shuffle when I'm painting and stuff. Yeah, I'm like, Red, that's some good painting music. He goes and he told me what it was, and that's all I listen to now when I'm painting for IG.
Oh,
Yeah.
So, what you should have in the background though, if you're doing Netflix, you might as well do YouTube and do DT4 in the background. We've had some awesome guests.
Yeah, we really have.
Sket One is a good one to go back and watch. Chris RWK was a good one.
Sket and I have been friends since the very beginning. Back when he lived in Connecticut, when he was, Dunny Series 1 kind of thing. So we've been buddies forever. I mean, we don't see each other as much. It was great that we actually got to hang out at Decon.
Mm-hmm.
When you've got a solid group of friends that you've known for years and years, like Kano and Huck and Sket and Tristan, it's with social media, we kind of came up when all that was starting, and so we're all following each other, and it's like I feel like I know what's going on in their world, but we still like, hey man, happy birthday, like that was fucked up, I can't believe they did that, stuff like that. So it's Sket's awesome. He's a solid dude.
He's in Japan right now. I think he's hanging out in Japan.
Yep.
I want to be hanging out in Japan
one day.
Where has been your favorite place?
Frontier doesn't fly there, B.
Okay.
Fly.
They always give me shit because I fly these stupid cheap airlines, because it's like, we have like a kid, my husband has a habit, so I don't have a lot of money to go flying ever with.
You have a talk about this after the show.
Anyways, where is your favorite place that you've been able to travel because of work? Anywhere?
I would say Tokyo was probably at the top of the list. Kozik and I got to walk around in Tokyo, went to Nakano Broadway and went, floor by floor, which was pretty cool. I was only there for like 48 hours, so I'd love to go back. Definitely on the top of my list. I love going to New York. I hate going to LA. Not cool there. I can't stand it anymore. New York, I usually go to New York at least for a minimum once a year, if not more.
I love New York. Yeah.
Yeah. The Toy Fair is always there. So I've been going to Toy Fair since '97, which is the big, industry thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I love London. Been to London a bunch for, different work projects and things like that. I love where I live. I live out in the country. I've got, 4 acres of woods basically around me. So I love the fact that I call it going into the studio, where it's like, this is kind of my little hole that I sit and work and can really just focus. And then I go on tour, and do business trips. So,
it's the best of both worlds that way. You can kind of be in your own area, but then you can go out and explore cities and stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, Kansas City's a great place too. It's got a lot of culture, a lot of artists, different places to go. Like now we have some toy shows and toy stores, which is cool. I've got 4 kids, so my younger daughters are both super into art and trying to kind of expose them to the art world without the craziness. My youngest is an amazing painter. She's probably going to go to Kansas City Art Institute. Cool. My older daughter, she wants to go into film, directing and writing and stuff like that. So that's amazing. My older sons are not necessarily in the creative, but they're doing their own thing, which is awesome. So yeah, my daughter's definitely got the art bug early
in the
on,
blood.
so.
Yeah.
Well, props to you for catering that and supporting it. I mean, I know it's our job as parents, but not everybody's parents do that.
Yeah.
And that's actually one of the trends that we notice when we interview people. A lot of times, a lot of the artists that, we ask about how they came up, and they're like, yeah, I was out and my parents just bought me a sketchbook, or just like a little push, that's all you need. So props to you for that, man.
I grew up in a single mother, I barely ever saw my dad up until I was about 13, and he kind of took over and threw me into military school because I was, one of those kids that was such a fuck up. I ended up loving it because I was like zero structure to military, and he's like, wait, I can't afford that, and so that was really kind of a turning point in my life. And then so my wife and we started dating our freshman year in high school. So I was 16 when we started dating, and we've been married, well, in about 2 weeks it'll be 25 years. We were together for 7 years before that. So
happy anniversary almost.
Thank you. And like I said, 4 kids. We homeschooled all 4. So I've made it a focus to be a part of their lives and at least give them all that stuff that I missed out on. Because my mom would go to work all day, come home, and it was like, "What'd you do today?" And it's like, "Well, I broke into a car and I spray painted a wall." Like, Mom, you got to come bail me out.
That answers my graffiti question, because I was going to ask you if you, had done. You said you got in trouble for painting, and I was curious if it was like a graffiti type, thing going on.
Please excuse our. This is our local Australian right here.
Oh God,
you have to explain
I
a lot.
have no idea what a freshman is. Rux, a freshman's like a 14-year-old kid, usually in high school. The very first 9th grade. It's high school.
Yes.
That's how you got in trouble 10 years ago, Rux.
I got in trouble here in Kansas City for it. And then I went to LA, and it was like, oh, you're in art school. So, I mean, I painted quite a bit there. It was a little too dangerous. So it was right at that time where the toy thing was picking up, and it was like, I can take that skill and energy and kind of focus it into, my design and art. So, yeah, it's I am a freshman. Come on.
Are you into sports? Are you a Chiefs fan?
I am a fair weather fan.
Okay, cool.
Once they get to a certain level, then I'll start watching. But I could care less. I don't really follow any of it.
Yeah. Yay sports.
Yay sports. Go sports.
Yeah, when I lived in LA, I was a big Laker fan because they were, back to back champions back in early 2000s. So, but then I moved back to Kansas City, and we don't even have a basketball team. So, whatever.
Well, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, my son-in-law is a huge Kansas City fan. Huge Kansas City fan.
A lot of people are right now.
Yeah. Try living here.
Yeah, he lives. He's from there, so.
Yeah.
One thing I forgot to ask is Mad Pop. That's you, yeah, or no? No. Okay, I don't know why I thought that was that had something to do with you.
Mad.
As far as I know, it's not me. It's usually either straight Mad or Mad Toy Design is kind of my across everything, whether it's X or Instagram or whatever other social media pops up.
It's got to be a Greg Mike thing then, because I saw he did the art for it.
Yeah,
but it was called Mad Pop, so I thought maybe it was your,
Yeah, and I don't. I mean, I don't own the Mad word.
No. Sure.
I grew up watching,
reading
Mad magazine. So part of my name comes from that. The other part is most people can't pronounce my last name, so I just dropped the L and it became Mad.
How do you pronounce it?
It's model, like a model airplane. Yeah.
Most people say Madl, huh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, which is why I named my first toy after myself. So, no ego there, right? But yeah,
you invented designer toy customizing. You can have an ego.
B is going to spread that rumor. That rumor is going to be all over now. B is going to spread that.
I'm sure
we need to have an all-star cast one night, though. We need to plan this out like 6 months in advance at least, and get some guests back in. We'll get Mad. Mm-hmm. We get Sket One. We'll get Tramp. We'll get all these RWK. We'll just get Luke Chu. We'll get all these amazing artists in one live stream. I think that would be sick. We should do that. Let's work on that.
Sounds like chaos, but I'm down.
I was gonna say throw Kano in the mix, and you've got a total shit show going on. You
throw Vandal.
Well, we throw Vandal in there too.
No, Vandal for sure. Yeah.
I've been trying to get Vandal. Hey, I sent him a message. I was like, just in case you want to come check out our vibe, I promise we're not weird. I mean, we're a little weird, but kind of goes with the territory.
It's a little different tonight because Ditto's not here, but yeah. Ditto's usually he has his little scripts, He
keeps us on track. We're a little off the rails without Ditto, but we appreciate you bearing with us.
I'll put in a good word for you with Vandal.
Appreciate you.
So, do you have anything coming up? Do you have anything any kind of events or anything you're working on, projects that are coming out soon, or
any sneak peeks you want to give us, or
Rock likes a sneak peek?
You already told us about the blind boxes coming,
Yeah,
but we need a sneak peek. We need a teaser or something.
Rock's always trying to get the tea.
It's only the four. It's only the four of us. It's just us. It's just us.
Yeah. Most of the work I've got going on right now is this client work, which is awesome. I mean, I love the work I do for them. Unfortunately, legally, I'm not allowed to share.
Right.
But as far as art projects, not really. I just did a show here in Kansas City for a local Comic-Con. Got a booth, and really it was for my daughters to be able to kind of sell their stuff and experience that world and see other women artists making money off their craft. And so and selfishly, I hate walking around shows, so like the $300 for a booth to have a chair and just sit there all day, like I'm all for it. I don't really have any big events or any art toy stuff kind of dropping right now. That could change, like I said, I've still got projects going on with UVD. I think with all the craziness in the toy world, it's everybody's in a wait and see kind of position. But I have been itching. I've got several 3D printers in my studio, so we'll see. One night I might just get a hair up my butt and be like, yeah, I'm gonna start making stuff. And
let's get another.
I was gonna say, can we get a Bent World series? What is it? Would it be like
anything
3 or 4 now? I don't know how many.
So I did Bent World Vandals, which were all the tools. I did the Bent World Beats, which was all like music industry.
We have
then
those
we did
too.
Bent World cans, and then I have a complete series of what I call Bent World Brawlers, and it's all like street fight stuff, like bricks and pipes and crowbars and shanks and stuff like that. The whole thing was done, and Kid Robot at the time was like, yeah, we're going to stop doing all the minifigures, and it never got made. So anybody out there wants to run a new Bent World series, hit me up, because
I want to make them.
we have one resin
printer. We have a resin printer. We'll print them for you.
Well, and then I also want to do like large scale versions of all those characters. Same with the Booyah Ghosts. Those. Yeah, there was a nice stretch there where Kid Robot was just,
I know.
Give us another one. Give us another one.
Man, I wish that they would kind of go back to some of the roots there, because it like the plushies are like, oh, I don't know. The classic Dunny cases, the Bent World cases. I mean, those are.
I just don't think it'll ever happen again. Like it's too expensive nowadays to do all those molds. And
would it be positive, bro?
They got bought up by NECA. NECA is a huge collectibles company. They have a completely different business model compared to for love them or hate them. Paul was a risk taker when he started Kid Robot, and super plastic. And I think he tapped into a. It's kind of a Gen X thing where it's like, F it, do it yourself, do it your way. One of the few companies that is actually completely killing it right now is Super 7. They're in that same mindset and have been, I've known Brian since it was a magazine, and, to see where they're at now is just like, keep doing it.
They just put out an email saying that they're slowing down because of the whole scene with the tariff and stuff's going to be.
I don't know how you wouldn't. I mean, like, unless you have millions of dollars. I mean, like, I just priced a case of blind boxes, and the case was cheaper than the shipping. The shipping itself was going to, or the fees were like $150 on top of like a $98 case. So it's crazy.
I have a mass market client of mine that ships 15 to 30 containers a month. All shipping is on hold. Jeez. All production's on hold. All new tooling's on hold. Everything's on hold. And that's one client. Multiply that across the entire toy industry and across pretty much every other product that we buy at the store. It's everywhere. So it's a pissing match right now.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other side, on the good side for us, that people that can make our own toys, it's going to open up doors for us that we haven't seen before.
That's
people are going to
recommend. Yeah, that's why I recommend if you can make one of a kind art, if you have resin casting stuff, if you've got a 3D printer, now is your time to go, because there's going to be a market out there for people that are willing to spend a little bit more for that one of a kind piece. Because that's all, not because it's all that's out there, but that's what's going to feed, the collectors and people want to buy stuff and support us and, do it yourself.
I have a small factory. In my place now. So we'll 50% off tariffs. So if you guys want to get stuff made, but it's going to open up doors. It's going to open up doors for the artists and creators of their own products, which I think is great. Who knows what's going to happen?
100%. It's
well, if you ever
look at it as I'm an optimistic guy in general. COVID hit, it decimated a big chunk of my business.
Yeah.
I am not one to just roll over and let the world dictate what I want to do. So, F it. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to make my stuff. I'm going to keep going. So you have to have that mentality right now.
There's always a way.
I like that.
There's nothing stopping us, so if you have a vision, go for it, and do whatever you can to make it happen. And I guarantee it's going to pay off big time. You hit that right vein and you get that right thing going, and you can keep it consistent and keep feeding that beast. And, you won't even need overseas manufacturing at that point. You're just going to have, your built-in, your community. So that's what I've been telling a lot of people I'm talking to in the industry, in toys, art toys even, is, just, you got to be fluid. You got to kind of roll with the punches and don't give up. At the end of the day, it's never say die kind of shit. So, yeah.
For
I was
sure.
going to ask you what your advice would be to creatives right now, but it sounds like that's it. I love that.
That's it. This world needs, innovation and new ideas. I mean, it's one of the biggest things that drives me nuts about the big mass market toy world is it's all just recycled licenses and ideas and, this whole retro, whatever the kid adult thing they're calling stuff. And it's like, I think about what are the kids, 5 or 6 year old me now, what are they going to be looking forward to when they're my age? Are they going to be like, hey, wow, here's another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle thing? Or are they going to be like, hey, here's this crazy Vandal character that this nut job, put together and would sell on Instagram? Shout out Vandal.
Yeah, we've got a lot of those pieces.
So
the camera's
I think again, now is the time and the opportunity to really to go for it. Whether you're an illustrator, you're a sculptor, you're a model maker, whatever, just get that vision, that idea out and go for it, and if it doesn't work, cool, start something else. You don't have to be all in on one thing. As you can see, my portfolio over the past, 20 plus years, it's like, I have my models, which are always kind of my staple, and I've got my modern hero figure and stuff like that. But it's like, you got to keep making new stuff. And that's my philosophy. I mean, you talk to Cause and he might tell you different, but so, I think it's follow that dream and that idea in your head and, just make it happen however you can, whatever format you can.
I love it.
Yeah. And in saying that, I think that is a good ending. Because that resonates probably with half the people watching, at least. We got 5 or 6 people in here. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. That's a joke. So, but just know that anytime you have something new that you want to promote, you're more than welcome to come back on anytime. We offer that to every one of our guests. If you can, again, put in good words for other artists that think it would be a good show for them to come on, we'd appreciate that too. But anytime you want to promote anything, you want to just come on for 5 minutes and say, hey, we're launching this, kind of thing, we'll be glad to have you on for sure.
Awesome. I appreciate it. This has been fun. Not a lot of people, I walked around Vegas at Decon and it goes to show how long I've been kind of out of the fold because, people are like, oh shit, that's mad. And, I bought your stuff when I was a kid. And it's like, wow, thanks.
I was so upset I met you there. I think Ditto. I think you met Ditto. You ran into him, but
okay.
Like, I'm not mad. And I was just like, man.
He's like, that's one of my favorite artists. Well, how did I miss him?
But this year it's happening. And coming on a DT4, like Rock said, but also feel free to tag us in posts. If you're promoting something, we'll share that.
Yeah,
for sure. And
thank you for taking the time out, man. It's been fun.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. I love talking, so it's always good to have an outlet for sure. That way I'm not talking to myself in my studio.
Hey, I mean,
It's a little weird.
I do that all the time. I do that all day.
Yeah.
I was about to
So
say
my
that,
kid
right?
comes back from college, then she's like, "Dad, shut up, man. You're like I don't have anybody to talk to during the day."
Yeah, my kids are tired of hearing it. They're like, "Whatever, Dad, just whatever." Like
Yeah.
so.
Mine just stays in her room. She doesn't hear.
Yeah,
anything.
she's pretty much a loner. Well, we do appreciate your time. Any last final things you want to promote, say before we kick you back to the green room again?
Follow me on social, Mad Toy Design. I don't know, buy some stuff from my store.
Oh yeah, there is some. Yeah, I was gonna say I just checked that today. There's there's still some pieces that you have available, right? At very reasonable prices, y'all. Like if you guys want some legit stuff, go check it out.
And I hand sign every piece.
These aren't expensive, guys. These are. I mean, you can get these in your hands for not, and you guys could customize the heck out of these. So go grab some.
Hit up DVD. They've got a ton of stuff, or UVD. Sorry, I'm at the bottom of my glass.
Time for a refill.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, this has been awesome. Thanks for the opportunity to come on.
Thank you. We'll definitely
talk like an old guy.
We'll definitely be following you and checking out your new adventures, and I can't wait for that blind box series to come out. So.
Oh yeah.
Me either.
Bent World Series 4. Here we come. Bricks and pipes and all that. Let's do it. We're gonna do it.
There's a picture on Instagram of it. You can find the series on Instagram.
We'll check it out.
Might have to dig a bit, but it's on there.
I know a lot of people that would 100% back that project. If you ever want to throw it on Kickstarter or something, I mean, I'm telling you, we need more series of blind boxes like that. Bring back the good old stuff.
I would love to. So no, that sounds good.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Have a great evening.
Appreciate
it. You guys. Thanks
for coming. We'll
been great.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Man, we are killing it with the guests lately, guys. I still can't believe this show has not like just went viral yet in the art world, because
people, what are we doing wrong?
We had 60 in there.
Some of these artists. Some of the artists are just insane.
Well, YouTube, you have we do our live stream, but people can come back and view it, which is good.
Yeah.
So we get those views. But no, I mean it's always fun, talking to just all these artists and just getting to know the person behind the figure,
Everybody's so fucking down to earth too. That's what I love so much about it. It's just the fact that he said that they text each other on their birthday or whatever. Can you imagine hanging out with that whole crew of legit, they're geniuses, they're creative geniuses. It's amazing.
We need to have it. We need to have that show, guys. We really do.
That'd be.
And I don't think it'd be too hard to get them all together.
He mentioned Kano. I'm like, oh my God, can you imagine getting him on here? Holy moly. Yeah, there's some really good artists that we have not been able to interview yet. So if you guys have, suggestions of who else you'd like us to interview, please hit us up on either IG DT4_live, or, you know who we are. You can hit us up on IG and we'd love to get people on that y'all want to see, and, answer or ask questions in the chat while we're, going and all the things. So.
And let's plug Ditto's show.
We appreciate you guys. Yeah.
Let's talk about Ditto's show. It's May 24th.
May 24th.
What is the date?
May 24th. Love in the Stars
at the Space Lab
in Philly. Him and Jay Martin are both co-hosting that show, and 24 artists.
Sounds about right.
24
it's
artists.
Close to that. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's going to be an awesome show.
He's also going to do a whatnot from there too.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool.
It's going to be a good one.
So anybody that has FOMO and can't go to Philly and hang out at the show, definitely check out Whatnot that evening, because he'll have pieces available.
My piece from the Reenie Cake show at Cohoy is still available on Cohoy's website from the show this weekend. So that piece is still available. There is a bunch of cool pieces left to grab. What else? What else we got? We got Red Guardians on 7 June at the Space Lab.
The wall.
We're all going to be there. That's going to be awesome. We're going to travel out there. It's going to be fun.
I'm excited.
So if you guys are coming, I know there's a lot of people in the chat that are going to be coming, so that's cool.
Oh yeah.
What did you just put in the chat, E?
It was supposed to be like thankful hands. I don't know what it is, man. As soon as it's sent, I don't know. It doesn't matter. I think they're
hands. It's like a baseball glove. Oh,
yeah,
I don't have my glasses on. It looks like a baseball. Oh, got you.
It sounds like it's not there. It's fine.
I'm back. What
happened? Oh,
sorry. I was just checking on Maya.
So E and B, you guys are going to be there in June. I'm going to be there in June. I know Sketch is driving up. Sketch's show got in a car accident at work or in his truck at work. So his show got postponed for now. That he was supposed to have a show coming up. But that show is going to be rescheduled. So stay tuned for that.
Yep.
Let's see. My show still doesn't have a date yet. I am working on my next blind, just so you guys know, my next blind box series is going to be any artist that has their own toy is going to do their own figures. So like, let's say TJP, right? He's going to put, let's just say 8 or 10 of his own figures in. Sketch will put his own in. I'll put mine in. Like whoever has a toy that can make their own toy will be in the blind boxes. So all the different artists will be in there.
I call this the Black Can.
Oh my God.
I designed this back in 2006.
You're so stupid.
No, you can't. But if you could recreate something like that, that would be badass.
Yeah.
Your own style.
Yeah.
So that's going to be my next blind box series. I started looking back at my pictures. Series 2 of my blind boxes was 2 years ago.
Wow.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah, these last few years have gone by very fast.
Yep.
Super fast. Super. What's going on with you guys in the old Love Bomb studio?
Well, we need to get through these shows that we've committed to so that we can fully focus on Love Bomb piece, because we definitely have ideas of what we want our first figure to be, but we've got to have the time to sculpt it and produce it and paint it. And so we've just got to stop saying yes to all these custom pieces.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we have a few more to get done, and then once we're done with that, then
I did offer to customize a cranky today for a guy because he was giving away his crankies. He had a whole bunch of open blinds that he opened, and he's like, "Hey," it was on Facebook. "Hey, I'm giving away all these. Anybody that wants these?" And it was like they were like Jeff Soto ones. They were like some good ones, and I was like, "I'm gonna customize one for this guy because I really like that he's such a kind person." So. Yeah. So anyways, but yeah, so Love Bomb, we will get our figure out. It may be 2026, but it's going to happen.
We'll stay tuned. We will stay tuned for that.
Apart from that, I mean, we have just our show every Saturday. I mean,
oh, there he is, Michael. You're such a nice guy. I love this. I shared this with him too. I was like, hey, I see you like designer toys. We do a show called DT4. So you're a real dude. I like your kind spirit that you had. So anyways, yes, I'm going to be customizing one for him. Yeah.
Nice.
Make sure you subscribe, Michael.
Yeah, subscribe. DT4_live on IG. Oh, speaking of that, we have 500 followers now, which means that we're going to do a giveaway.
We have 500. We need to come up with a giveaway. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be something really good.
We will come up with a good one and we'll promote it.
We'll post it on Instagram, so y'all keep an eye out on our Instagram, the DT4_live on IG.
Yep.
And
so a lot of cool things coming up. It is kind of nice though to do these custom shows though, to give yourself a little variance. To me, I was doing my own toys for so long that I was painting like 5 and 6 of them of the same toy, and it just kind of got monotonous after a while. So
you went crazy with those. You took pictures and you had like just a ton, like a production line. Like I can see
you can kind
of get burnt out with that. So
I slowed down a little bit because I started looking back and I'm like, dang, there's figures I haven't even released yet. Like I put them in blind boxes and here and there, but I've never done a release of like 10 of this figure. So I slowed down a little bit, but there's definitely some new stuff in the works, but kind of slowed down the manufacturing part of it. So
yeah.
Well,
good.
I'm going
to
be going
slow
on
down a little.
vacation
Take some
sometime.
time for you.
Yeah, I am going to go on vacation coming up, probably when the kids go back to school. I want it to be less busy. But yeah, Sketchy Sketches helped me with my next. I wish I could show it off. His sketch is this close to finishing up my drawing. Because when you get a drawing from me, it's kind of like it takes a while to decipher it. But the new figure is going to be pretty sick. I can't wait. Nice. He's almost done, so then we can produce it. But Lexi comes in another week or two from school, so she'll be home all summer. She's doing internship here in Vegas, so that's kind of cool.
Oh, good.
So yeah, so we'll get to have all the kids for the summer. It's gonna be nice.
Nice.
So yeah, I am gonna be having a Trexie show coming up just to get rid of some of these Trexies. I have 3 master cases. I think.
Yeah. All right.
So
DT4
get some good deals.
You get a whole master case of Trexie.
Yeah. There are some cool figures in this set too.
There
though.
is.
Like
the artists really did kill that. Yeah.
They did. So stay on the lookout for that. I don't know when I'm going to have that show, but Tuesdays I've just really not had anything to sell, and I didn't want to just come on the whatnot and just have nothing really for me to sell. So stay tuned for my show. I'll publicize it and stuff. So
you just said you had
I'm looking forward to a little.
Well, not just
yeah.
Check.
Well, no,
but I just don't want to. I don't know. I need to do that. I need to do a purge. I really do need to do a purge.
Well, our
There's
buddy
so
Matt,
much cool
he has
stuff.
the whole storage unit of toys. You can go on Whatnot and do his.
That would be great. Open up the storage unit. We could open up the storage unit and.
Heck yeah!
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna get out of here. Any last words from the Bomb Studio?
The Bomb.
No. We have a few different guests lined up.
Yep, our next show is May 14th, 2 Wednesdays from now. So go ahead and put it on your calendar. And then tomorrow's May.
That's wild.
Tomorrow's May. So May 14th and May 28th will be our next 2 shows. We're going to have some great guests on. So stay tuned keep an eye out on IG. We'll also be announcing for that giveaway for the 500 followers. And please share this video because seriously, y'all, we need to show people how dope these guests are that are coming on and spending their time with us. So today is May. Oh, that's right. Sorry, Rux, I forgot. You're in the future. How's May so far? Is it good? I hope it's good. It's gonna be a great month. I feel it in my bones.
Yeah, May's gonna be good.
That's it. We're good.
All right, guys. Everybody be safe. Stay happy, and gosh darn it, guys, be nice to each other. And we'll see you guys on the next one.
Later,
y'all. Good night, everybody.
Good night.